Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. My sincere gratitude to ISKCON Toronto for giving me this opportunity to speak about the glories of Shri Nityananda Prabhu on this auspicious tithi of Shri Nityananda Trayodashi, the divine appearance day of Shri Nityananda Prabhu. I would like to read one verse from Shri Bhagavad-Gita. So this is, I hope all of you are able to see my screen. This is the 18th. Thank you. This is the 18th chapter of Shri Bhagavad-Gita. And this is verse number 68. Lord Krishna is instructing Arjun. Lord Krishna has just given his supreme instruction, Param Vacha, supreme instruction, the most Guhyatama, the most confidential instruction Lord Krishna has given to Arjun. And what is that? Manmana bhavamad bhakto madyaji mam namaskuru mam evashashi satyam te pratijane priyosi me sarvadharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma sucha. I would actually like to read two verses along with the purports. This is very important and very relevant to what we are going to discuss today. So after speaking these two verses, you can see this was Sarvadharman Parityajya in verse number 66. So what it means is Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto. This is verse number 65, where Krishna says, always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Anyone who performs these four activities, always thinking of Krishna, becoming Krishna's devotee, worshipping Krishna, and offering our respects to Krishna, bowing down to Krishna, doing namaskar to Krishna. Anyone who performs these four activities is a friend of Krishna, becomes dear to Krishna. And such a person, at the end of their life, they will go back home, back to Godhead. They will go to Krishna Lok. This is Krishna's promise. Then in verse number 66, Lord Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shucha. Abandon all varieties of religion. Just give up all the different varieties of religion and surrender unto me. Krishna is saying, just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. These instructions of Krishna, of asking all of us to think of him, becoming his devotees, offering him obeisances, worshipping him, and giving up everything else, and exclusively surrendering to Krishna. These instructions constitute, forgive me for scrolling so much, but these instructions constitute the topmost instructions of Krishna. You see this, verse number 64, in the preceding verse, Lord Krishna says, Sarva Guhyatamam Bhuyaha. Already this Manmana Bhavamad Bhakto verse was spoken towards the end of chapter 9. So Krishna is saying Bhuyaha. Again, I am speaking to you. Sarva Guhyatamam. The most confidential knowledge, the most important instruction. Shrunu me, please listen carefully. It is Paramam Vachaha. Paramam Vachaha. It is my supreme instruction. So this constitutes the highest instruction of Krishna. Most confidential knowledge. Always think of Krishna, become a devotee of Krishna. We should offer our obeisances to Krishna, worship Krishna. We should give up everything and completely take shelter of Krishna, surrender to Krishna. Krishna says, Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Ekam means exclusive. This is the most confidential knowledge. After speaking this, let us see what happens. Verse number 67 of Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna continues speaking to Arjun. Idam te nata paskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na chashu shru save Vachyam nachamam yobhya suyate suyati. Krishna says, this confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are a tapaskaya. Tapasya means austerity. A tapaskaya. Those who are not austere. A bhaktaya. Those who are not bhaktas. Previously Krishna said, manmana bhava mad bhakta. Bhava means to become. Bhava mad bhakta means become my devotee. So those who are a bhakta, this knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita should not be explained to them. So Krishna is saying like that. Those who are not engaged in devotional service, and it should not be explained to one who is envious of me. Anyone who is envious of Krishna, we should not speak this message of Bhagavad-Gita. So this is Krishna's instruction. Now let's go to the next verse, verse number 68. So Krishna gave the supreme instruction that we should become his devotees. Then Krishna said, but don't explain this knowledge to those who are not the devotees. Those who are not my devotees, those who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, don't speak this knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to them. And then verse number 68, Krishna says, Ya idam paramam guhyam mad bhaktesh abhidhasyati bhaktim mai param kritva mam evaishat asamshayah. Yaha, anyone who, idam, this, paramam guhyam, most confidential secret, mat bhakteshu, this secret about me, of mine, bhakteshu, amongst my devotees, abhidhasyati, explains, bhaktim, devotional service, mai, unto me, param, transcendental, kritva, doing, mam, unto me, eva, certainly, eshyati, comes, asamshaya, without doubt. Translation and purport by our beloved founder Acharya. Om Vishnupad Paramhams Parivrajakaacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. So let me read the verse again. It's very purifying. Krishna is saying, Ya idam paramam guhyam mad bhaktesh abhidhasyati bhaktim mai param kritva mam evaishat asamshayah. For one who explains this supreme secret of Bhagavad Gita to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed. And at the end, he will come back to me. Hare Krishna. Purport. Generally, it is advised that Sri Bhagavad-Gita be discussed amongst the devotees only. For those who are not devotees, a bhakta, will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad-Gita. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Only a devotee can understand Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, those who are not devotees will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad-Gita. So I explain to them. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is and Sri Bhagavad-Gita as it is should not try to explain Bhagavad-Gita whimsically and become offenders. Those who don't accept Krishna as Bhagwan, because in Bhagavad-Gita Krishna is referred to as Bhagwan, Shri Bhagavana Uvacha. So one who does not accept Lord Krishna as Bhagwan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and one who does not accept Bhagavad-Gita as it is, should not teach Bhagavad-Gita. They have no right to teach Bhagavad-Gita. If Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna is saying, should not be explained to those who are abhakta, ashraddhadhan, those who don't have faith, those who are not devotees, this Bhagavad-Gita should not be explained to them. Krishna said in the previous verse. So if Bhagavad-Gita cannot be explained, should not be given to non-devotees, how can a non-devotee teach Bhagavad-Gita? They don't have the adhikar, they don't have the eligibility to touch Bhagavad-Gita. Krishna is saying. So Prabhupada is repeating what Krishna is saying. They should not try to explain Bhagavad-Gita whimsically. Otherwise, they will become offenders. Shri Bhagavad-Gita should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such people who are willing to accept Krishna as the Supreme Lord are eligible to hear Bhagavad-Gita. It is a subject matter for the devotees only. Shri Bhagavad-Gita is a subject matter for the devotees only and not for philosophical speculators. Anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad-Gita as it is will advance in devotional activities and reach the pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. My dear friends, let us try to understand what is happening here. Krishna is saying, I am going to speak Paramam Vacha. I am going to give my supreme instruction. Shrunu me, please listen carefully, he is saying. It is so important that Bhuyaha, I am speaking this instruction again. And then Krishna says, Manmana Bhavavan Bhakto Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. He says, become my devotee, surrender to me. Then Krishna says, this is the most confidential instruction. This should not be revealed to those who are abhakta, those who are not devotees. And then Krishna says that this knowledge should be shared amongst my devotees. And one who does this becomes very dear to me. And at the end, he will come to me. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada repeats what Krishna says and explains it. Why? Because they will not understand Bhagavad Gita nor Krishna anyway. But then Krishna says, Srila Prabhupada says something very interesting. Let's go back. Srila Prabhupada says, so after repeating what Krishna has said, however, Srila Prabhupada, look at my cursor. Srila Prabhupada says, however, anyone who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad Gita as it is will advance in devotional activities and reach the pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. So this is how Bhagavad Gita concludes, my dear friends. Now let us see how all this connects to our beloved Shri Nithyananda Prabhu. When Krishna, who spoke Bhagavad Gita, came 500 years ago as Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he called Shri Nithyananda Prabhu and Haridas Thakur and said in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Shuno Shuno Nithyananda, Shuno Haridas, Amara Agyay Karo Sarvatra Prakash. Suno Nityananda, Shuno Haridas. My dear Nityananda, my dear Haridas, come here. Please listen to me. Amara Agyay Tumi Karo Sarvatra Prachar. Go and spread my instructions everywhere. And what is the instruction? Grihe Grihe Pratigehe Koro Ei Bhiksha. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. This is my instruction. That go to every house. Grihe Grihe. Go to every house. And Koro Ei Shiksha. Koro Ei Bhiksha. Ask for this charity. Bhiksha. Beg them. Beg them. What? What are you begging for? Bolo Krishna, Koro Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. Bolo Krishna. Chant Krishna's name. Bhajo Krishna. Worship Krishna. And Koro Krishna Shiksha. Whatever Krishna has taught in Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, you do that. 3 instructions. Bolo Krishna means chant Krishna Naam. Bhajo Krishna, worship Krishna. And number 3, Koro Krishna Shiksha. Whatever Shiksha, whatever instructions Krishna has given, you follow those instructions. This is the order of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is the speaker of Bhagavad Gita? He is Krishna. Brajendra Nandana Jai, Shachi Suta Hoilo Sei, Balarama Hoilo Nitai. Shri Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Shri Balaramji came as Shri Nityananda Prabhu. So Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Kali Yuga has said, Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. not just devotees. In Dwapar Yuga, Krishna said this instruction of Bhagavad-Gita should be spoken only to the devotees. But in Kali Yuga, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Namo Mahavadanya, he's Mahavadanya, he's most merciful, he broadened his network. He says only speaking to devotees will not be sufficient. In Kali Yuga, I have come to save everyone. Kali Yuga Pavana Kali Bhayanashana Shri Shachi Nandana Gao He. He has come to save everyone. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh. Amara gya guru hai tara ehi desh. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami described in the Madhya Lila, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started the South Indian tour, this instruction he spoke to the Kurma Brahman in Kurma Kshetra, but this instruction Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu repeated everywhere he went. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami writes like that. Every town, every village where Mahaprabhu went, he repeated this instruction. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna upadesh, amara gya guru hai tara ehi desh. Tell whoever you meet, you tell them about Krishna. Krishna Upadesh. Krishna Upadesh means whatever Upadesh, whatever instructions Krishna has given in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, you repeat them. Krishna says, Satatam Kirtayanto Mam, always chant my names, always chant my glories. You tell, chant Krishna Naam, Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna. Just repeat the instructions of Krishna to others. That is the meaning of Jare Dekho Tare Ko Krishna Upadesh. Just repeat the instructions of Krishna to others. Bring people closer to Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave this instruction to Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Haridas Thakur. My dear friends of ISKCON Toronto, please listen carefully. This is very significant. Why Nityananda Prabhu and why Thakur Haridas? There were so many other devotees in Navadvip. Why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called these two devotees out of more than 200 close associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Why only these two out of 200? The reason is Sri Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Haridas Thakur have a very, very special position. Who is Nitai? Who is Lord Nityananda Prabhu? He is Ādi Guru. And who is Haridas Thakur? He is the Sampradaya Acharya. We are the Brahma Sampradaya. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is performing his Leela in the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya. So who is our Sampradaya Acharya? It is Lord Brahma, who is Haridas Thakur. And he is the Namacharya. The Yuga Dharma for Kali Yuga is Nam. Kali Kale Nama Vinu Nahi Anya Dharma Sarva Mantra Saranam E Shastra Marma. Kali Kale Name Vinu Nahi Anya Dharma. There is no other dharma other than chanting Nam in Kali Yuga. Kali Kale Nama Vinu Nahi Anya Dharma Sarva Mantra Sar Nam E Shastra Marma. This is the essence of all the scriptures that chant name of Krishna. Harer Nam, Harer Nam, Harer Nam Eva Kevalam, Kalau Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatiranyatha. In Kali Yuga, there is nothing else that will work. Only holy name. And who is the Acharya for holy name? It is Srila Haridas Thakur. So the Namacharya, which is the Yuga Dharma, Nam Sankirtan, Namacharya, Sampradaya Acharya, Haridas Thakur. And Adi Guru, the Akhanda Guru Tattva is Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Akhanda means unbroken, eternal. The Guru Tattva is always there. Lord Balramji, Lord Nityananda Ram is the Guru Tattva, represents the Guru Tattva. Adi Guru is Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Nityananda Ram. So, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Swayam Bhagavan, Sarva Avatari Krishna Swayam Bhagavan, Tahara Dvitiya Deha Shri Balaram. So, Krishna, who is Swayam Bhagavan, is giving instruction to Adi Guru, the original Guru, that go now in Kali Yuga and go to every house and tell them to chant Krishna now and teach them about Krishna. Bolo Krishna, Bhajo Krishna, Koro Krishna Shiksha. Grihe Grihe Pratigrihe, Koro ei Bhiksha. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed. Ask this alms, ask this, beg for this to everyone. Don't discriminate, give it to everyone. So the instruction of Bhagavad-Gita has been slightly modified in Kali Yuga. Therefore, following the instructions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we go out on the streets and distribute Bhagavad-Gita. We preach, we do outreach, we invite people for Harikatha. Some of them may be envious of Krishna. Some of them may have no faith. They may be ashraddhalu, they may be abhakta, they may be non-devotees, they may be faithless people, but still we speak Harikatha to them. Based on time, place, circumstances, using our intelligence in the best possible way to bring them closer to Krishna. We are doing this on the authority of Shri Nityananda Prabhu, who was instructed by Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu ra agya paye mage e bhiksha, bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, koro Krishna shiksha, Nadiya Godrumme Nityananda Mahajan. See this, what Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is writing. Prabhu ra agya paye mage e bhiksha. Shri Nityananda Prabhu is not acting independently. He has received this order from Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Prabhu ra agya paye. He has obtained this instruction from Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, mage e bhiksha. And he's asking this bhiksha. What? Bolo Krishna, bhajo Krishna, karo Krishna shiksha. Please chant the name of Krishna. Please worship Krishna. And please follow the instructions given by Krishna. So on the authority of Shri Nityananda Prabhu, my dear friends, we are preaching. Anyone who participates in the preaching mission of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is very dear to the Akhanda Guru Tattva, to the Ādi Guru, Shri Nityananda Ram, who is non-different from Lord Balaram. And in this regard, my dear friends, I would like to share some sweet relationships, some sweet reciprocations that Shri Nityananda Prabhu has had with his devotees. I have written down 13 different relationships that Shri Nityananda Prabhu has, because it is Trayodashi, Shri Nityananda Trayodashi, the 13th day. So 13 different relationships. And I would like to share as many as I can. The first relationship is with Shri Ekachakra Dham and the Dhamvasis. First relationship. Second relationship is with his two gurus, Shri Lakshmipati Tirtha and Shripad Madhavendra Puri. Third relationship, there are many, I have clubbed them to make them 13. Third is his very sweet relationship with Maharaj Pratap Rudra and Shri Shivananda Sen. Then fifth relationship, very special relationship with Shri La Jiva Goswami, whom Shri Nityananda Prabhu took on Navadvip Dham Parikrama. Then his very special relationship with Shachi Mata, the mother of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then his very, very sweet and key relationship with Srila Raghunath Das Goswami and Shri Raghav Pandit. His relationship with Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. I spoke about this in the morning. His relationship with Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Such a relationship that he can break the danda of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Let us talk about this relationship today. And how Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains what the jewels of Nityananda Prabhu represent. That is a little longer pastime. It will be a class in itself. This was ninth relationship. Ninth was with Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sweet relationship with Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Number 10, Shri Nityananda Prabhu's unique relationship with Shri Advaita Acharya, where they have loving squabbling. They are squabbling with each other, criticizing each other in a joking way. Number 11, very important, Shri Nityananda Prabhu's very merciful relationship with Kaliya Krishna Das. He was a disciple of Shri Nityananda Prabhu and he fell prey to lust in the South Indian tour of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nityananda Prabhu sent him as his representative with Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the South Indian tour, but he fell prey to temptations. How Shri Nityananda Prabhu rectified Kaliya Krishna Das. Very sweet story. Number 12, amazing relationship of Shri Nityananda Prabhu, who is Balaram, with Shri Gadādhara Pandit, who is Srimati Radharani. Beautiful story from Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat. How Shri Nityananda Prabhu gets very beautiful gifts from Navadvip for Shri Gadādhara Pandit to assist him in his service to Gopinath, at the Tota Gopinath temple in Jagannath Puri. And finally, number 13, and this we will see if we can discuss today. Number 13 is Shri Nityananda Prabhu's very special and sweet and confidential relationship with our beloved founder Acharya, His Divine Grace, Abhay Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada, and his disciples, Srimati Ladini Devi and Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. The special relationship of Nityananda Prabhu with them. So, where should I start? We were discussing how Sri Nityananda Prabhu has very special relationship with the preachers of Krishna consciousness movement. Anyone who assists in Krishna consciousness, Sri Nityananda Prabhu is always there to shower his blessings upon them. One such example is Maharaj Pratap Rudra. Maharaj Pratap Rudra is an incarnation of Indradumna Maharaj of Satyayuga. Indradumna Maharaj, who many yugas ago was instrumental, his devotion was instrumental in bringing Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra on this earth planet. He appeared in Gaur Leela. Shri Indradumna Maharaj, who got Jagannath Baldev Subhadra to this planet and who built the original Jagannath temple, he appeared in Gaur Leela as Maharaj Pratap Rudra. And also our Purandar, King Indra, the king of the demigods, the king of heaven, he also appeared as Maharaj Pratap Rudra because he wanted to rectify his offense to Krishna. He had attacked Krishna and Brajvasis with the with the Samvartak clouds, with thunderstorm and rain and hail. And he was feeling so guilty. He said, as the king of heaven, I attacked you, my dear Krishna. But when you come next time, I want to serve you. I want to serve you. So please come and live in my kingdom. I came to your kingdom. You are Rajendra Nandan and I attacked you. But in your next incarnation, you come and stay in my kingdom and I want to serve you. I want to protect you. So King Indra, Devendra, the king of heaven, he came as Maharaj Pratap Rudra. And Lord Krishna came as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and stayed in the kingdom of Maharaj Pratap Rudra at Gambhira in Jagannath Puri. In a residential quarters in the house of Kashi Mishra, which was arranged by Sri Maharaj Pratap Rudra himself. So Maharaj Pratap Rudra, you can see, is a very great devotee. He is Devendra and he is Maharaj Indradumna. Very, very great devotee. When he heard from Gopinath Acharya and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhagwan, Swayam Bhagwan, he had instant complete faith that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Bhagwan and I want to serve him. I want to get his audience. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu refused. He said, no, I am a sannyasi. I am not supposed to meet materialistic people. And the king is as materialistic as it gets. He thinks he is the king. In bhakti, we are supposed to think that we are insignificant. But a king thinks he is king. He wears a crown. He sits on a throne. He has servants fanning him. Whole mood of Krishna bhakti is to become das, anudas. But this king is the Prabhu, Prabhur, Prabhu. He is the master of the master of the master. He is the king of the kingdom. I will never meet him. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and Ramananda Rai, they petitioned Mahaprabhu. He is a very great devotee. He is in the role of a king, but he is a very great devotee. Please accept him as your own. Please give him audience. Please give our mercy to him. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said no. Yadyapi Prataparudra Sarva Gunavan Tahara Malina Kaila Eka Rajana. Yadyapi Prataparudra Sarva Gunavan. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says in the Madhya Lila of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Although Yadyapi Prataparudra Sarva Gunavan, even though Maharaj Prataparudra is the abode of all good qualities. Tahara Malina Kaila Ek Rajanam. But he has been made malin. He has been made contaminated by what? Rajanam. He is not Pratap Rudra, he is Maharaj Pratap Rudra. That title, that upadhi of king, it has ruined everything. It has spoiled everything. Mala means dirt, dirty. Yadyapi Pratap Rudra Sarva Gunavan, Tahara Malina Kaila Eka Rajanam. I will not meet Raja Pratap Rudra. Because people will criticize me that being a sannyasi, I am associating with the king. Oh, why is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the great sannyasi, associating with the king? Does he want some special favors from the king? Does he want money from the king? Does he want residential quarters from the king? Does he want special facilities, royal facilities from the king? Why is he associating? People will say. People are just looking to find faults in a spiritualist. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, this is a great instruction for all of us, my dear friends. Srila Prabhupada said, purity is the force. And we will lose all our potency if we are not pure in our behavior, in our acharan, in our personal practice. We must strictly follow the 4 regulative principles. No matter how many temptations, we must strictly follow, try our best to strictly follow the 4 regulative principles. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Shukla vastra machi bindu yaiche na lukai, sannyasi ra alpa chidra sarva loka gai. Shukla vastra machi bindu yaiche na lukai. On a shukla vastra, on a white cloth, machi bindu, small black dot, yaiche na lukai. You cannot hide it. Can you hide it? Look at Tushar Prabhu. He's wearing a white shirt. If I put a black dot, pen dot, he will not be able to hide it. Because it's a white shirt. Shukla vastra machi bindu aichena lukha. You cannot hide it. Similarly, sannyasira alpa chitra sarva loka gai. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, similarly, a small mistake of a sannyasi, sarva loka gai. People will gossip and they will broadcast a slightest fault, a slightest mistake of a spiritual leader, of a sannyasi. So if we act improperly, the whole world will talk about it. Oh, those Hare Krishnas are like that. Those followers of Srila Prabhupada are like that. Mahaprabhu is saying, Shukla vastra machi bindu yaichena lukaya sannyasira alpachidra sarva loka gaya. We are also representing one sannyasi. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That is our line. We are representing these great sannyasis. Sannyasira alpachidra sarva loka gaya. So we should not give a chance to people to find faults with the Krishna consciousness movement. For that, we have to maintain our purity. Mahaprabhu says, I will not meet. Then Sri Nityananda Prabhu comes to town. Sri Nityananda Prabhu comes to Jagannath Puri and he goes straight to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so happy to see Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu says, Mahaprabhu, Maharaj Pratap Rudra is assisting in the mission of Sankirtan, in the mission of spreading Krishna consciousness so much. He is helping devotees all the time. Why are you not giving him your mercy? Please give him your mercy. Mahaprabhu said, no, he is a king. I cannot give him mercy. I am a sannyasi. I have to keep away from rich and famous and powerful people. Shri Nityananda Prabhu said, if you don't give him mercy, the king has decided to give up his kingdom and become a mendicant, become a bhikari, become a beggar. Please give him mercy. Please give him mercy. Nityananda Prabhu petitioned to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu is so merciful, he knew that Maharaj Pratap Rudra will not be able to live without receiving the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Sri Nityananda Prabhu did something that no one had ever done. Are you all eager to hear what Sri Nityananda Prabhu did? He begged Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that if you cannot meet Maharaj Pratap Rudra and you cannot give him your mercy because he is the king, at least give your upper cloth, give your uttariya, give your bahirvas, your outer cloth, as a tadiya, as a mahaprasad to Maharaj Pratap Rudra. And Maharaj Pratap Rudra will embrace your upper cloth and he will worship it on his altar. And you are sending yourself as your cloth. Your cloth represents you. The cloth has got your parmanu, The cloth has touched your body. So your cloth is non-different from you. Your paraphernalia is non-different from you. And Maharaj Prataparudra will accept it in that spirit, and he will be able to maintain his life. Please send your Uttariya, your Bahirvas, your upper cloth for Maharaj Prataparudra. And because Sri Nityananda Prabhu requested, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu agreed. Tabe Nityananda Gosai Govinde Rapas Magiya Laila Prabhur Eka Bahirvas. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says, Tabe Nityananda Gosai Govinde Rapas. Nityananda Prabhu went to Govinda, the personal servant of Mahaprabhu. Magila Leila Prabhur Eka Bahirvas. And he took the Uttariya, the Bahirvas, the outer garment of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and personally gave it to Maharaj Prataparudra. Hare Krishna. Oh, you can imagine Maharaj Prataparudra's joy and ecstasy receiving the upper cloth of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How many of you would like to hold that cloth worn by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? That cloth had been drenched with the pranaya shru, the tears of love of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu, on the request of Nityananda Prabhu, gave it to Maharaj Prataparudra. And Maharaj Prataparudra embraced that cloth to his heart and placed it on his altar, worshipping it as non-different from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, very soon during Rath Yatra, Maharaj Prataparudra received the full mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the sweet relationship of Sri Nityananda Prabhu with Maharaj Prataparudra. Nityananda Prabhu comes from Bengal and he petitions for the king. Petitions for the king. This is Nityananda Prabhu. If you want Sri Nityananda Prabhu to petition for you, that please accept Hasmukh Solanki Prabhu, please accept Salil Prabhu, please accept Devahuti Mataji, please accept Tushar Prabhu, please accept Chirayu Prabhu. He's making something for Radha Govinda Dev, I think garlands or something. Please accept him. Please accept these devotees. Who wants Nityananda Prabhu to petition on our behalf to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Please raise your hands. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So in this way, Maharaj Prataparudra was the recipient of Sri Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. Shivananda Sen. This is also from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Very beautiful pastime and very difficult, very bewildering pastime. Shivananda Sen was also a Vaishnava Sevak, just like Maharaj Prataparudra. Shivananda Sen was a Vaishnava Sevak. Every year, before the Rath Yatra, he would take all the devotees of Navadvip. There were 200 to 300 devotees the first year. And then after that, every year it kept on increasing for the next 18 years. Maharaj, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for the first 24 years of his life, lived in Sri Navadvip Dham. Then he took sannyas. And for 6 years he traveled. South India tour, Vrindavan tour, he traveled. And then 18 years after that, Mahaprabhu manifested his Leela for 48 years. 24 years Grihastha, 24 years Sannyasi. Of the 24 years of Sannyasi, first 6 years he traveled and preached. He instructed Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, went to Varanasi, Prakashananda Saraswati, South India Yatra, visited Vrindavan. All those pastimes he did. Came to Ramkeli. And then the next, after spending 6 years traveling and preaching, the next 18 years, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exclusively stayed at Jagannath Puri. So first 24 years is the Adi Leela, 6 years of traveling and preaching is Madhya Leela, and last 18 years of Mahaprabhu's life in Jagannath Puri constitutes the Antya Leela. So during the 18 years that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived in Jagannath Puri, every year for Rath Yatra, practically every year, Shivananda Sen would take all the Navadvip Vasis and go on a pilgrimage to Sri Jagannath Puri and stay there for the 4 months of Chaturmas and then bring them back. These were simple Bengali devotees. In those days, Bharatvarsha was divided into many kingdoms. Gauda Desh, Bengal was a kingdom. Utkal Desh, Orissa was another kingdom. So like that, there were many, many kingdoms. In Dravida Desh, South India, there were many kingdoms. North India, many kingdoms. So it was many, many princely states, many kingdoms were there. And you had to travel to different kingdoms. Different kingdoms had different rules. You had to pay toll when you crossed You had to pay the boatman. If there was a river and you have to cross across the river, you have to pay the boatman the fare. So it was expensive. It required a lot of management and logistics. For so many men, women, and even small children would travel every year to Jagannath Puri and stay there for 4 years. Okay, there were no motels. There were no hotels. There were no patels in those days. Otherwise, there would have been motels. So what do? You go to a village and it is night and you have got 200, 300 devotees with you. Some of them are ladies, some of them are small children. You have to knock on the doors of the grihasthas in that village and request them that I will give you some money. Can you host one family? Can you host 2 families? Can they stay with you for one night? And then they will get dinner, they will get breakfast and place to sleep, take rest, and next day you move on to another village. Like that, they had to walk all the way through forests and villages from Navadvip to Jagannath Puri every year. And Shivananda Sen took this responsibility. And he did not ask for contributions. He did not ask for registration fees for the Jagannath Puri Yatra. He bore all the expenses. He worked hard for 8 months in the year, earned wealth, and used it for Vaishnava Seva. This was Shivananda Sen, very dear associate of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one year, he was bringing all the devotees, including Sri Nityananda Prabhu, from Navadvip to Jagannath Puri. And when they were on their way, they were passing through an area where there was a Muslim toll collector. And he held up Shivananda Sen. Hare, why are you going in such a big group? Are you trying to create some revolution? Are you some rebels? Are you going to attack our king? You have to pay extra tax, this, that. There was some argument, some discussion. So Shivananda Sen got held up at the toll booth. He told all the devotees that don't stand here in the sun. You cross into this kingdom and there are very nice mango trees, shady trees. Go and sit under the trees and take rest. I will settle this toll. I will pay up and I will pacify this toll collector. And then I will come. Then I will make arrangements for your residential quarters in this village. And then I will make arrangements for your prasad. See how much management Shivananda Sen had to do, how much money he had to spend. But he was doing it for the devotees, my dear friends. Shivananda Sen explained everything to the Muslim toll collector, gave him some extra tip, gave him extra Lakshmi, extra money, pacified him, and then came running because he knew the devotees are waiting. They must be hungry, thirsty, tired. So he came running. It was noon, hot sun in the summer, and he wanted to give them lunch prasad and everything, arrange everything. He came running. In the meantime, our Nitai is standing under the tree. And Shivananda Sen is coming. Please visualize this. This is Rath Yatra period. It is the month of May and June. It's very hot in India. It's noon time. It's lunch time. Very hot, and they have been walking all day, all morning. They're tired. They're thirsty. Nityananda Prabhu is standing there under the tree along with 200, 300 other devotees. And these are very high-class devotees. Devotees of the caliber of Advaita Acharya, Shrivas Thakur and his brothers. Very exalted devotees. There is Shuklambar Brahmachari. There is Kolavecha Sridhar. There is Mukunda. There is Narhari Sarkar. All these great devotees are there. And Nityananda Prabhu is standing. And Shivananda Sen is approaching them. He's approaching Nityananda Prabhu. And Nityananda Prabhu is saying, what is this going on? What is this mismanagement? The Yatra Management Committee is not doing its job properly. It is lunchtime. What to speak of lunch? We don't even have residential quarters yet. I am so hungry. I have been walking all morning. I might die out of hunger. Nityananda Prabhu says, I might die. And this Shiva, Shivananda says, this Shiva, he has not made any arrangements for prasad. He has not made any arrangements for our lodging and boarding. This is unacceptable. I curse Shivananda Sen that may all his 3 sons die. And Shri Nityananda Prabhu spoke this curse in front of Shivananda Sen's wife. And the youngest child was a newborn child. He was not even 1 year old. Paramananda Puri. He was in her lap and 2 other sons were sitting. And Nityananda Prabhu speaks this curse. What Oh, Gosai, what have you said? What have you spoken? Gosai, now all my sons will die. Shivananda Sen's wife started crying piteously. Hare Krishna. In the meantime, Shivananda Sen comes running with a smile on his face and offers Dandavat Pranam to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And the entire family of Shivananda Sen is watching. Shivananda Sen's nephew is also there. His name is Shrikant. They are all watching. Shivananda Sen very humbly offers his Dandavat Pranam to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. And as Shivananda Sen gets up, after offering his Pranam to Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Nityananda Prabhu kicks Shivananda Sen on his chest. Hare Krishna. And Shivananda Sen falls backward in ecstasy because the dust from the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Prabhu have touched his heart. He says, Ha Nitai, Ha Nitai, Ha Nitai. Thank you for this mercy. He says, please come with me, Nitai. Please come with me. I have already arranged for your residential quarters first. Please come. And prasadam is also ready. I will soon serve prasadam to all of you. Please come. Please be pacified. Please come. So Nityananda Prabhu, everybody is watching. Shrikant is very upset that my uncle Shivananda Sen, he is doing so much Vaishnava Seva and he has been cursed that may all his 3 sons die. And Shivananda Sen is not bothered in the least. And Shivananda Sen's wife is crying. And some devotees tell him that Nityananda Prabhu just cursed you. Did you not hear? Say, shh, quiet. Don't worry about all that. Let us serve Nityananda Prabhu. Let us serve Nityananda Prabhu. So then some devotees asked Shivananda Sen, are you not upset that he kicked you? Instead of thanking you for paying the toll, for paying for your lodging, paying for arranging your prasad, instead of thanking you, he's cursing you and kicking you in front of everybody. Are you not upset? Shivananda Sen says, what are you saying? Upset? The dust from the lotus feet of Sri Nityananda Prabhu is hankered after by Lord Brahma, by Lord Shiva, by all the demigods, and they don't get it. And here, I got it. Why should I be angry? I am so grateful. In fact, the ecstatic dust from the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu is making my heart erupt with joy, and I feel like dancing in ecstasy. That dust from Nityananda's lotus feet has invoked Krishna Prem in my heart. Shivananda Sen is blissful, and he goes and again offers his obeisances to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda Prabhu is so pleased. He lifts up Shivananda Sen and embraces him heart to heart. On the other hand, the nephew of Shivananda Sen, Shrikant, he cannot tolerate this. That my uncle has been criticized, he has been cursed, and he has been kicked. He leaves the party of all the devotees, and because he's so upset with Nityananda Prabhu, he leaves the group of devotees and starts walking ahead because they are very close to Jagannath Puri anyway. And he arrives first in Jagannath Puri. As soon as he arrives in Jagannath Puri, he goes straight to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and offers his obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But as he goes to offer his obeisances to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is wearing his turban. And Govinda and Swarup Damodar Goswami point out that, hey, Shrikant, this is against Vaishnava etiquette. When you offer obeisances to a respectable person, you have to take off your turban. Sign of humility. And Mahaprabhu stops them. Stop. Don't correct him. Because he is not in his right mind. He is not sane. Because he has just committed aparadh to Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would immediately understand. And he understood the fallen condition of Shrikant and did not give any importance to Shrikant. Did not even allow his servants and secretary to correct and chastise Shrikant. He said, just leave him alone. Because he's just like Krishna says, don't talk the message of Bhagavad-Gita. Don't teach it to the people who don't have faith and who don't have devotion. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya said, don't instruct the Shrikant. Leave him alone. He is not in his right mind. Let us prepare to receive all the devotees. They are coming. And all the devotees come. And Mahaprabhu gives special attention, special mercy, special love to Shivananda Sen. He says, Shivananda Sen, you have come. Yes. Oh, your family is so wonderful. Your 3 sons are so wonderful. Shivananda Sen says, I just have a newborn 3rd child. What is his name? Sannyasi. Mahaprabhu is sannyasi, and he's asking all these family questions. What is his name? Shivananda Sen says his name is Paramananda Puri. Mahaprabhu says, give him to me. Gives and keeps Paramananda Puri, the youngest son of Shivananda Sen, on his lap. Not only that, as Vatapatra Shai Mukunda, our Krishna, as Balam Mukundam, Vatapatra Shai, one who lays down on the banyan leaf, he sucks his own thumb, isn't it? Krishna sucks his own thumb, his own toe, not thumb, his own toe. His own toe he sucks. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu placed his own toe, the toe of his lotus foot, into the mouth of Paramananda Puri. Paramananda Puri, the youngest son of Shivananda Sen. And he started sucking the dust, the nectar from the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya. Just like a honeybee sucks honey from a lotus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet are also lotus, like lotus, filled with nectar. And this young boy, 1-year-old child, is sucking the nectar, Paramananda Puri. And then Mahaprabhu tells him, chant the name of Krishna, chant the name of Krishna. He's 1-year-old, chant the name of Krishna. And he's just looking at Mahaprabhu, the small child, the youngest son of Shivananda Sen. And everybody's wondering why he's not saying the name of Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he tells tigers and elephants and deer to chant Krishna, they say Krishna, Krishna. Why this Paramananda Puri is not chanting? Even though he is being instructed by Mahaprabhu to chant Krishna, Krishna. Mahaprabhu said, chant Krishna, chant Krishna. And he was looking at Mahaprabhu. Shri Nityananda Prabhu explained why he was not speaking. Would you all like to know the reason? Please raise your hands. Haribol! Thank you. Shri Nityananda Prabhu explained. Mahaprabhu placed his toe in the mouth of this boy, and Mahaprabhu spoke to him, chant Krishna, chant the name of Krishna, Krishna, Krishna bolo, Krishna, Krishna. But this boy is not speaking. Why? Shri Nityananda Prabhu explains. He says that is because Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has directly initiated the child, the infant child. And when we get initiation mantra from Guru, we are not supposed to speak it loudly. We are supposed to speak it internally. This boy is chanting, but he's chanting internally. He's doing manasik jap. This is so sweet. And this child grew up to become the great Kavi Karnapur, who wrote Chaitanya Charitra Mahakavya, and he wrote Gaura Ganadesh Dipika. Sri Kavi Karnapur, very great Acharya in our Sampradaya. He got this mercy. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said to Govinda, his personal servant, my dear Govinda, as long as Shivananda Sen, who has received the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, as long as Shivananda Sen and his family members are in Jagannath Puri, every day, give my remnants, give my Uchishta, give my Mahaprasad to Shivananda Sen and his family. Why? Because Shivananda Sen received the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, did not become angry at Nityananda Prabhu, but was very grateful to receive the kick and the chastisement of Nityananda Prabhu. Our acharyas ask two questions. Question number one, why did Nityananda Prabhu curse? And what happened to the curse? Shri Nityananda Prabhu spoke a curse. May all the three sons of Shivananda Sen die. What happened to that curse? And number two, why did Nityananda Prabhu kick Shivananda Sen? And our acharyas explain the answer to both these questions. They raise the question and they answer. Question number one, why Shri Nityananda Prabhu kick Shivananda Sen in the chest? It is explained that when Shivananda Sen, after paying the toll booth, he was coming towards Nityananda Prabhu, who was standing under a tree. Shivananda Sen was looking at the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu, and in his heart, Shivananda Sen was saying, I want to receive the dust from those lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. Nitai pada kamala koti chandra sushitala. My heart is burning My heart is burning. If only I could receive the dust of the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu on my heart, then my heart will be, the burning in my heart will be pacified. Because Nitai Pada Kamala Koti Chandra Sushital, a very cooling lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. He was coming towards Nityananda Prabhu, approaching Nityananda Prabhu, looking at his lotus feet and desiring, I wish I can get on my heart the lotus feet of Nityananda Prabhu. And Sri Nityananda Prabhu, being the Supreme Lord, understood the desire of Shivananda Sen. And Nityananda Prabhu thought, I want to reciprocate. I want to reciprocate. I want to give my dust on his heart. But if I do it, Shivananda Sen, take the dust from my feet. All these 200, 300 devotees will do the same. They will also want. And in this assembly, there are senior devotees like Advaita Acharya, like Srivas Thakur, and it will be embarrassing. They are older to me. They will also want to take my dust. Therefore, I will perform a lila where it will appear that I am kicking Shivananda Sen. I am chastising him, and he will get the dust that he wants, and nobody will feel deprived. So therefore, Nityananda Prabhu, he pretended to be angry at Shivananda Sen and kicked him. Bolo Nityananda Prabhu ki jai. And what happened to the curse that the three sons will die? Our acharyas explain that all the material desires in the hearts of those three sons died, and they became completely spiritual. That was the, when he said, let the three sons die, Nityananda Prabhu meant, let the material desires that die. And they became purely spiritual, great, pure devotees, all three of them. So this was the relationship with Shivananda Sen. But we have run out of time. It is 6 o'clock. So Srila Prabhupada's relationship with Sri Nityananda Prabhu's relationship with Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, Srimati Ladini Devi, and all other relationships we will continue tomorrow. Shri Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the wonderful class. I didn't even realize it's 6 o'clock. When you said, I saw the time. So it was such a nice, wonderful way you have narrated the pastime, especially the thumb-sucking thing which you have explained. It's brilliant. It's very nice to hear. Very sweet. Thank you so much.
Mercy of Acharyas. Yes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, dear devotees, if you have any questions, you can put in the chat. I don't see any as of now, or you can let me know. I can unmute you. You can, and Prabhu would be gladly answering them. I don't see any questions yet, Prabhu. See, no, I don't see any.
I think Damodar Charan Prabhu has raised his.
Yes. Okay, I just see. 1 moment. Yes, Damodar Charan Prabhu, please, you can unmute. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
I had a question regarding one incident. So, repeatedly, time and time, over and over, in many leelas, we see that Vaishnava aparadh is highly dangerous aparadh, and like just Shrikant did an aparadh towards Nityananda Prabhu, and so number one, like what happened to Shrikant after that? Like like many times unknowingly, also knowingly and unknowingly, we take it lightly, but we do end up doing Vaishnava aparadh. So like, what's like the way to to nullify that, or to seek forgiveness towards that?
Hare Krishna. So Shrikant, we have to understand that he is an eternal associate of the Lord. He is the eternal associate of the Lord. And it is said, Purabe Saba Bhagvat Eikaye Vaishnave Rakriya Mudra Bhigyena Bhujaye. All the acharyas in the past have said this one thing, that Vaishnava Kriya Mudra Bhigyena Bhujaye. Even a learned person cannot understand the activities of a great Vaishnava. And Sri Nityananda Prabhu is like that. His leelas are very difficult to understand. And Shrikant represents a devotee who sometimes is not able to understand the activities of a great soul. Srila Prabhupada walks into the kitchen of a temple and the pujaris are cooking bhoga, Raj Bhog. And Prabhupada walks in, inspects, and picks up some bhoga and tastes it. And the Mataji who is cooking says, Prabhupada, the offering is not done yet. Prabhupada said, that's all right, you can offer it now. It's nice. Who can understand this? Who can understand? So Prabhupada is in that mood of love for Radha and Krishna. He wants to make sure what is being offered to Radha and Krishna is fine. In the mood of Shabri, he tasted. But it's bewildering. It's bewildering. So Vaishnava Kriya Mudra Vigyena Bhuja. And Shrikant represents such a devotee. So we should learn from Shrikant and we should be careful. As far as Shrikant was concerned, he did not go on a campaign to blaspheme Nityananda Prabhu. And that was his saving grace. And he was in the association of devotees. So he was saved. But he did not get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu because of that offense. He did not get the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because of his offense to Nityananda Prabhu. So he's teaching us that we have to be very careful. And when we don't understand the activity of a great devotee, we should take guidance from other senior devotees to try to understand what is going on here. As far as avoiding Vaishnava Aparadha is concerned, there is a very important sutra that I received from my spiritual master, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, and I will share that with you. There is a lecture on YouTube, you can look it up. Beware of Spiritual Crisis by His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. Beware of spiritual crisis. It is one of my all-time favorite lectures. And in the end, His Grace Radhesham Prabhu, he asks a question, exactly the question that you asked. He asks that question. And Maharaj explains for almost 10-15 minutes, a very, very deep answer. But I will tell you the essence, the sutra that I got from that answer. Always keep your focus on the pure devotees. Always keep your focus on the pure devotees. If we keep our focus on Srila Prabhupada's example, who is Acharya, founder Acharya, our founder Acharya. If we keep our focus on Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, on Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj, all our Acharyas, if we keep our focus on them, and even contemporary Acharyas, all our contemporary Acharyas like Sri Srimad Gaur Govinda Maharaj, Sri Padayendra Prabhu, Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj, Srimati Ladini Devi, Srimati Yamuna Devi, all these great disciples of Srila Prabhupada who perfected their lives, we keep our focus on them, we will never be disappointed and we will never be disturbed. But if we put our focus and faith on devotees who are struggling or who are having spiritual difficulties, then we will get distracted, we will get disappointed, and our faith will be shaken. So if you are driving on a highway, you're driving your car on the highway, where do you keep your focus? On the highway, especially on the lane in front of you, right? You stick to your lane and you focus on the lane in front of you. You are aware of the other lanes. If in the emergency lane, outside just on the side of the highway, in the emergency lane, there has been a crash. There is a crash and there is a fire brigade, there is a police, paramedics, and they are taking care of it. If you put all your focus on that crash, what happened? Which car? How much damage? How many occupants? Has the airbag been deployed? What is happening? Any injuries? You start looking there, what will happen to you? You are going 60 miles an hour, 65 miles an hour, and your focus is on the accident. Hey, what is happening there? It's a very dangerous situation. There are fire brigades, cops, paramedics to deal with that. You focus on your lane. You are aware there is a crash. You see the lights flashing. Yes. You move one lane on this side. Move away from the emergency. Move away from the crash site. Let them do their thing. You focus on your lane and you go ahead. Move ahead in your Krishna consciousness. Similarly, we will see devotees having difficulties like that accident. We will see devotees having fall downs. We will see devotees who are criticizing. They are putting comments on Facebook criticizing. They are having websites. They are sending WhatsApp messages criticizing devotees. That is like the accident. And just like the fire brigade, paramedics, cops are taking care, we have Guru Sadhu Shastra taking care of them. They will deal with those devotees who are having spiritual difficulties. That is not our focus. Let the Acharyas deal with that. We focus on Srila Prabhupada. We focus on Srila Saraswati Thakur. We focus on devotees who are good examples, even contemporary devotees. We focus on devotees who are good examples. We focus on devotees who will nourish our faith, who will inspire us and encourage us. When we focus on devotees who are having difficulties, we start wondering, does this Krishna consciousness really work? Such senior devotees, yeah, 15, 20 years they're practicing, 30 years practicing, still they're behaving like this. I think Krishna consciousness doesn't work. Our faith will get shaken if we are focusing on those accidents. No, don't look at the accidents. We are not 911. We are not fire brigade. We are driving our car of Krishna consciousness. Focus on your lane. Focus on the acharyas. Focus on devotees who are good examples. Maharaj said there are 3 types of devotees. First, devotees who are not good examples. They criticize, they don't follow the 4 regulative principles, they don't chant their rounds properly. They are just not good examples. Pray for them from a distance, don't associate with them. Category 2, devotees who try to be good examples, but they have difficulties. Sometimes they may have a fall down. They try to be good examples, but they have difficulties along the way. Such devotees, we should feel sorry for them. We should pray for them, just like we do for the first category. Second category also, we should feel sorry and we should pray for them. But these devotees, if they are receptive, we can try to inspire them, or we can connect them to devotees who are good examples so that they may improve. But again, we have to keep our distance from them. We cannot open our heart to them and we cannot hear from them. And the third category, the topmost category, are devotees who are good examples. And that is where our faith should be. If we put our faith in Srila Prabhupada, we will never be disappointed. Because Srila Prabhupada is never going to disappoint us. He's a pure devotee. So that is where our faith should be. Devotees who are good examples. Is that helpful, Prabhuji?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you. Prabhu, what was the lecture? Be aware of?
Beware of spiritual crisis. I think Salil Prabhu has shared it.
Yeah, I have shared that. That's it. It's a 1 hour.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhu,
So
we have a couple of hands raised and 2 questions. So as per your time.
Okay, so tomorrow, Prabhu, we will not have time for Q&A because we are, ISKCON Toronto class is 7:15 to 8 o'clock. And then 8 o'clock, I have another class. So we'll have to stop sharp at 7:59. So let me take the questions today. So I will just read the questions from the top. So I think first question is by Vani.
Yes.
How can a neophyte devotee or one now starting to follow the teachings of this movement receive the mercy of Lord Nityananda Prabhu? What pleases Lord Nityananda Prabhu? Because I have heard that without pleasing Lord Nityananda, one cannot receive the mercy of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yes, you are absolutely correct. So what will please Shri Nityananda Prabhu? Shri Nityananda Prabhu's mantra is Bhaja Gaurango, Kaho Gaurango, Laha Gaurangera Namare, Je Jana Gaurango Bhaje, Se Hayamar Pranare. If we chant the name Gauranga, we chant the name of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadādhara, Shrivas Ādi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. We chant these names, Shri Nityananda Prabhu will be very pleased because Shri Nityananda Prabhu wants to hear the name of Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Salil Prabhu, if you can share this verse. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jai Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Every chapter of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita begins with this verse. It's in the beginning. So you can chant this verse, you can sing this verse. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Nityananda Prabhu will be very pleased. Another way you can please Shri Nityananda Prabhu is by taking up this path of Krishna consciousness seriously. Because, see, there is Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and there is Lord Nityananda Prabhu. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wants us to become devotees of Krishna. Jare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. That is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood. He wants us to become devotees of Krishna. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has made Nityananda Prabhu the main preacher of Krishna consciousness. So it is Sri Nityananda Prabhu's responsibility to make the whole world Krishna conscious. Prithivite yatyacha nagara digram sarvatra prachar hoibe gaura naam. Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's name should be chanted everywhere. That is the mission of Nityananda Prabhu. So if we accept Krishna consciousness, we start chanting Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Ādi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, and Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. These two Mahamantras, if we chant, Shri Nityananda Prabhu will be very happy, very happy. He becomes very happy. And then our life will be successful. And we have to just take one precaution. We have to chant these two mantras, Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadādhara Ādi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. You have to chant, and we should not criticize anybody. That's all. Otherwise, we will lose the mercy of Shri Nityananda Prabhu. So we should not criticize anyone, and we should chant. Everything will be revealed to us. How to go deeper in Krishna consciousness. So just accept the process of Krishna consciousness, and Shri Nityananda Prabhu will shower unlimited mercy on you. Vaniji. That is my prayer. Hare Krishna. Next is David Prabhuji. As a vegetarian, can we eat egg that cannot give birth to a chicken? No, because we are followers of Krishna consciousness movement, and we are vegetarian not only because eating meat involves giving pain to other animals and killing other animals, but there is another reason why we are vegetarian. And that reason is because Krishna wants us to be. In Bhagavad-Gita 9th chapter, Lord Krishna says, Patram pushpam phalam toyam yome bhakta prayashati tadaham bhakti ruparitam ashtami prayatatmana. If you offer me with love and devotion a leaf, a fruit, flower, or water, I will accept it. Krishna does not say, if you offer me with love and devotion eggs or meat, those things. So Krishna will not eat egg. And we cannot eat what Krishna doesn't eat. Because Krishna says, Yat karoshi, yad ashnashi, tat kurushva mada arpanam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that whatever you eat, yad ashnashi, whatever you eat, tat kurushva mada arpanam. Offer it to me and then eat. But Krishna will not eat eggs. Krishna says, and all our spiritual teachers tell us, that Krishna will not eat egg, Krishna will not eat fish, meat, no. Because egg is not in the mode of goodness. Egg, if we see from a reproductive and biological point of view, it is the menstrual discharge of a hen. And that is not in the mode of goodness. That cannot be eaten by Krishna. That cannot be offered to Krishna. Krishna eats food stuffs that are in the mode of goodness. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So onion, garlic, eggs, fish, meat, alcohol, tobacco, all these things, they cannot be offered to Krishna. Krishna eats something that is very pure, like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, milk that is non-violent, ahimsa milk, and milk products. So, David Prabhuji, do you have a child, or do you have your father in your family with you? If you want to give them a gift, let's say it's Father's Day, and you want to give your father a gift. Father's Day, you want to give your father a gift. So you have three choices. You can either go to a shop, and you know that your father needs a new shirt. You can go to a shop, a nice shop, and you can buy a very nice cotton, well-fitting, comfortable shirt for your father. A nice new shirt for your father. A color that your father likes. A fit that your father appreciates. You can give it to your father. First option. Second option, you can give some torn, discarded shirt that you found by the street, by the side of the street. Somebody discarded it, it's torn, it's not wearable, and you can give that to your father, a dirty, torn shirt. And the third option is stealing a shirt from someone. Stealing a shirt from someone. So these three options are there. First option is mode of goodness. Second option is mode of passion. And third option is mode of ignorance. So if we have to give a shirt to our father, what will we choose? What shirt will we give to the father? It's obvious that we will choose the first option, isn't it? We will not give a torn, discarded, dirty shirt, and we are not certainly going to steal a shirt from someone and give it to our father. So similarly, if Krishna is our father, and Krishna says, I will eat if you offer me something with devotion, we have a choice. Either we can offer Krishna food in the mode of goodness, or in the mode of passion, or in the mode of ignorance. Ahimsa milk and milk products, whole grains, fruits, and vegetables are in the mode of goodness. Nicotine, caffeine, onion, garlic, these types of foods are in the mode of passion. Things that are too spicy, too pungent, too bitter, things that are aphrodisiac, they're in the mode of passion. They increase our passion. And foods in the mode of ignorance are foods that are dirty, contaminated, or foods that are result of pain and violence to other animals, like meat and eggs. So these things can be offered to Krishna. Yes, milk can be offered to Krishna as long as milk is a product of non-violence. But the ordinary dairy farms that we have today, they don't treat the cows nicely. So that milk is not ideal. We should not consume that milk, because those cows are slaughtered. They are kept in very inhuman conditions. And we can have milk that comes from ahimsa cows, ahimsa dairies, where the cows are protected, cows are treated nicely, cows are allowed to eat grass in the pastures, organic milk, animal welfare certified milk and milk products. That's what devotees may consume. Or some devotees don't trust these dairies, so they go vegan. That is also okay. That is also a personal choice. So we have to choose. It's a matter of personal preference. But milk, as long as the cows are treated nicely and the calves are allowed to drink the milk from the cow, it is clean. Yes. If you see, have you seen a cow? The cow's udder has got 4 nipples. 4 nipples. Our Shastra says 2 nipples are for the calves. From 2 nipples, the calves will suckle. And cow is called mother, go mata, mother cow, because the other 2 nipples are for those who serve the cow, the caretakers of the cow. So the cow is so merciful. She produces surplus milk. 2 udders, 2 nipples for the calves, and 2 nipples for the servants of the cow, the caretakers of the cow. So that's why she is mother cow. She's one of the 7 mothers. I hope this is okay, David, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. You can give a thumbs up if you are satisfied. Hari Bol. Thank you, thank you. So now let me go to the next one. Deepaji. Distribute books one and all. Okay. Finally, okay. Thank you, thank you. Then S. Chatterjee Mataji. Hare Krishna. How should we observe Nithyananda Trayodashi? This is the first time I am outside India. Hare Krishna. It's a very nice question. As I was explaining to the first question, Shri Nityananda Prabhu feels very happy when we simply chant. Simply chant. If you simply chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Mahamantra and the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, these 2 Mahamantras, if you chant, then Nityananda Prabhu will be very happy. You can also offer some prayers. If you want, S. Chatterjee Mataji, Salil Prabhu, do you have my phone number?
Yes, Prabhu, I have it.
So do you have S. Chatterjee Mataji's phone number?
No, but I can get it from her.
Okay. So anyway, if you want, I can just put my phone number here, and Mataji, you can message me on WhatsApp, and I will send you one prayer called, this is a US number. I can send you a prayer. You can recite that prayer on Nityananda for the pleasure of Lord Nityananda. So just send me or Salil Prabhu a message, and you can recite that prayer. Okay, thank you. And then, okay, David Prabhu also says, I also want deliver books to people. What should I do? So David Prabhu, Salil Prabhu, you know David Prabhu? He's in
Yes,
Toronto.
we can get in touch with him and
Perfect. So Salil Prabhu will help you. Sucharu Padma Prabhu. What do you mean by focus on acharyas? Please expand for better understanding. ISKCON desire tree. Krishna consciousness, our Krishna conscious society is also like a desire tree because the devotees are like desire tree. Vancha kalpataru. Vascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo. Vaishnavas are like desire tree. And ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, is a society of devotees, Vaishnavas, who are desire trees. So ISKCON is also desire tree. Whatever you want, you will get it here. If you want pure Krishna Prem, if you want pure devotion, Uttama Bhakti, Shuddha Bhakti, it is available in ISKCON. If you want politics, that is also available. So focusing on acharyas means focusing on the nectar of Krishna consciousness and not getting distracted with controversies, controversial topics, and politics and criticisms and blasphemy and who did what. That is all distraction. We should not do that. We should focus on the real nectar that the acharyas are giving. Srila Prabhupada's books, Srila Prabhupada's kirtans and bhajans, the Hare Krishna Mahamantra that the acharyas have given us. That is what we should focus on. That is the meaning of focus on acharyas. I hope, Sucharu Prabhu, this is okay. If not, you can say, can you share the Nithyananda prayer here? Can I share it here? I don't know how to share it here. It's on my phone and I'm on my laptop. So again, you can message me on the on my phone number on WhatsApp, and I will be happy to share it with you. I will share it with Salil Prabhu, and if Salil Prabhu wants, you can share it with the congregation.
Yes, bro.
So like that. So I think we are done with all the questions on the chat box. Now let's see if there are any hands that are raised. We have Santosh Chaitanya Prabhu and Shri Radha Mataji. So Santosh Chaitanya Prabhu and Shri Radha Mataji.
Yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for your class. I have a simple question, basic question actually. If when we offend Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we get Nityananda Prabhu's mercy and then somehow become overcome from that offense. I'm not sure if my understanding is correct.
What did you say? If we what?
If we offend Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we get Nityananda Prabhu's mercy and then he takes care of us. Is that correct?
If we offend Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we get Nityananda Prabhu's mercy.
Like Nityananda Prabhu shows, like there's a story in Chaitanya Charitamrita, right? When Kala Krishna Das.
Yeah, that story we are going to discuss next time, hopefully.
Yeah. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected him and Nityananda Prabhu gave him.
He did not offend Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Santosh Chaitanya Prabhu, Kalia Krishna Das, the assistant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the South Indian tour, did not offend Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He simply fell prey to temptations. When he saw the young Bhattahari women, he just got tempted and he just had a fall down. So it was not an offense. He did not offend Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had weakness of his heart. That's all. And Nityananda Prabhu rectified that.
So,
but okay. So you are saying if somebody offends Chaitanya Mahaprabhu,
yeah. Okay, let me put the question this way: if Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is angry, then Nityananda Prabhu takes care of us. Is that understanding correct?
If we are sincere, okay. Shri Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is not blind. Shri Nityananda Prabhu is most merciful, but his mercy is not blind. Example is Ramchandra Khan. He offended Haridas Thakur. He was the one who sent the Lakshahira girl to Srila Haridas Thakur to create a controversy and to spoil the reputation of Srila Haridas Thakur. Srila Haridas Thakur left that place. Ramchandra Khan committed a grievous Vaishnava aparadh against Srila Haridas Thakur. Years later, Shri Nityananda Prabhu went to that same village of Benapol, and he gave a chance to Ramchandra Khan to rectify. He actually asked Ramchandra Khan if he would like to host him in his house. Nityananda Prabhu said, I have come here to preach Krishna consciousness. Can I stay in your house? And Ramchandra Khan said, no, you go away. You cannot. There is no place in my house for you to stay. When he said that, at that time, Shri Nityananda Prabhu, he just left that place, and Muslims came to Ramchandra Khan's house, looted him, took away all his wealth, destroyed his house, and plundered the whole village. The Vaishnava Aparadh destroyed Ramchandra Khan completely. So Shri Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is there, but Nityananda Prabhu's mercy is not blind mercy, that we can do anything and Nityananda Prabhu will give mercy. Ramchandra Khan did not get Shri Nityananda Prabhu's mercy. In fact, he got punished. Nityananda Prabhu said that you want me to go and stay in Goshala? You don't want me to stay in your Durga Mandap, in your courtyard? Okay. Just wait and see who will come and stay in this Durga Mandap in a few days. And in a few days, the Muslims came, tax collectors, and they camped in the Durga Mandap of Ramchandra Khan and looted all his money and plundered the whole village and destroyed his house. So just to make a point, Shri Nityananda Prabhu is most merciful, but his mercy is not blind. There is a limit. If we continue to offend Vaishnavas, if we are serial Vaishnava Aparadhis, even Nityananda Prabhu will not show us mercy. He will punish us. Of course, that punishment is also for our purification. So yeah, please go ahead, Santosh Prabhu. Continue.
Okay, Prabhu. So if we make Nityananda Prabhu angry, then who to approach, who to seek for blessing so that we can please Nityananda Prabhu?
The Shri Guru is the representative of Shri Nityananda Prabhu. More than Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Nityananda Prabhu is merciful. And even more merciful than Shri Nityananda Prabhu is Shri Guru, who is a servant of Shri Nityananda Prabhu. So we should take shelter of Shri Guru and try our best to rectify our offenses, our mistakes, and try to please Shri Nityananda Prabhu and Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Actually, Nityananda Prabhu never gets angry. Akaroda Paramananda, Nityananda Ram. He's Akaroda. He doesn't get angry, Nityananda Prabhu. But if we have done something to anger him, then we should take shelter of Shri Guru and ask Shri Guru how we can rectify ourselves and how we can please Nitai Gauranga. Is that okay?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. And last question, Shri Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, I have a few questions. One about bad devotee and good devotee. You just talked about it. To stay away from the bad devotee and those who criticize, those who put you down, those who just complain and bully you and stuff like that. And then I have a question about in Bhagavatam, I don't know which chapter, but it says that I think it was Satvik Gun is finished, or the sentence is Satvik Gun is always almost nil, NIL. There's a sentence in Bhagavatam somewhere, I don't know where chapter, but is that true?
What Sattva Guna is?
Almost nil, NIL, nil.
In whom?
I don't know, in this world. That's what it says.
No.
Somewhere in Bhagavatam.
In this world,
Yeah.
there are three modes of material nature: Sattva Gun, Rajogun, and Tamogun. Mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And these modes are always there in this world.
When you hear when you hear the audio Bhagavatam, it says in that book that Satvik Gun is almost nil.
It may be so towards the end of Kali Yuga. It depends on the context. In what context Srimad Bhagavatam is telling us that statement. That statement that you heard, towards the end of Kali Yuga, it is like that. Where Sattva Gun is almost nil. And Rajogun and Tamogun are predominant. But these three modes are always there in all of us at all times. It may be very minute. It may be 0.1% mode of goodness. And 99.9% it will be passion and ignorance. Rajogun and Tamogun. That may be there, but Sattva Gun is always there. It may be diminished to practically nil towards the end of Kali Yuga. So we have to see what context it is.
Okay, so now the second question was about the bad devotee. Let's say that someone is in devotional service for 65 years, and that somebody that is in charge of the Sankirtan movement continuously chant his 16 rounds and goes to Harinam Sankirtan, even like distribute books and all of that. And they don't follow the 4 regulative principles, and they do criticize in heavily content, and also they are kind of a meanie. Those kind of devotees we should like stay with, or no?
Number of years in Krishna consciousness does not necessarily indicate our progress in Krishna consciousness. There are devotees who take to Krishna consciousness so seriously that within a year or 2 years, they make rapid spiritual advancement. And then there are devotees who commit offenses or they are lukewarm, and they may be devotees like me for many years, but they have not made any spiritual advancement. So just spending number of years in Krishna consciousness does not indicate one's spiritual advancement. Spiritual advancement should be judged based on how much we are attached to chanting Krishna Nam and hearing Krishna Leela, the pastimes of Krishna. How attached we are. How we don't waste time. So, avyartha kalatvam, nama gane sada ruchi. Srila Rupa Goswami explains these are the qualities of a sincere devotee. So, asaktistat gunakhyane, nama gane sada ruchi, shantir avyartha kalatvam, mana shunyata, how we are mana shunya. We are not expecting respect from others, we are humble. How we are tolerant, shantir, how we don't waste time, how we are attached to chanting the holy name and describing the qualities of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna. These are the parameters on which you judge a devotee's spiritual advancement. Salil Prabhu has shared that verse. Kshantir avyartha kalatvam viraktirmana shunyata asha bandha samutkantha namagane sada ruchihi asaktishtad gunakhyane pritistad vasati sthale it adiyo nubhavasyur jata bhavankure jane. This verse is very important. So let's see the translation. When the seed of ecstatic emotion for Krishna fructifies, the following 9 symptoms manifest in one's behavior. These are the symptoms of an advanced devotee. These are the characteristics that we should aspire to develop and inculcate. Forgiveness, tolerance. Okay. Concern that time should not be wasted. If someone is watching cricket and sports and news channel and movies and Netflix and HBO and whatnot, CNN, Fox too much, that is not an advanced devotee.
No, your words are very perfect and beautiful, and I think Krishna is sitting on your tongue and making you talk. But this devotee is like he listens to Prabhupada Kirtan and lecture whole night while sleeping. He chants with the TV on, watches any kind of Prajala TV, But again, like in the heart of this other devotee, that they think that this devotee is extremely, nice and all of that. When this devotee is treating this other person extremely like that, the devotee that I'm sharing this information on threw one person out of their home in 17 degrees, and they had to walk home, and the walk hours, the mileage was like couple of hours. So what I'm saying is, if a devotee acts in this way, is that person should be left alone?
See, Shri Radha Mataji, any devotee who is disturbing our faith, we should wish that devotee well, we should pray for that devotee's betterment, and we should keep a respectful distance. This devotee is not the only devotee in the world. There are many other devotees that you can associate with. So you focus. This is the whole point. You focus where the example is good. Don't focus about who is making who walk in the snow in 17 degrees. That is not our focus. If you talk, if you meditate about these things, you will simply be distracted. And when you meditate on the faults of others, those faults rub on you. If you associate with someone who has COVID, you will get COVID. So don't see, don't think, don't talk, don't discuss about the faults of others.
This is so beautiful.
There is so
Lord.
much to discuss in Chaitanya Charitamrita. There is so much to discuss in Srimad Bhagavatam. Let us discuss that. Why are we discussing about? So just follow this principle. Focus on the acharyas. Focus on the nectar of Krishna consciousness. Focus on Krishna Naam, Krishna Katha, Krishna Lila, Krishna Guna.
Very, very
Focus on
beautiful.
Vaishnava acharyas. Glorify the Vaishnava acharyas. Okay?
Thank you so much.
Like that. Hare Krishna.